42 pouring in my cup. In the session real loud, good cash, yeah, you know we about to roll it up. Bring the bottles to the session, big tap, go ahead and just live it up. Get lit one night, after that we can go ahead.
What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Icon, and we here on 95 South Podcast. First and foremost, I want to thank God for this opportunity, like I always do every week, because God did not have to allow me to be on this platform to have the great interviews and to have great people on here. So my partner, as you can see, he's not on here right now, Jacob. Hopefully he's having technical difficulties, but hopefully he'll be able to get that straightened out so he can join us on this interview. So today, y'all, I have some special guests on here today. What I have is the founder of the JUCO program that he started out in South Carolina. It's a real big program and helping kids and youth be able to get an education, be able to get their shine and they look in the football program on the JUCO level. And he's going to be able to explain today. He has his partner with him. We'll have Coach Kincaid, which is, like I told him last night, I said that's very different, because I was calling him Kincaid, but it's Coach Kincaid. And I have his partner, Jah Hill, former NFL player, wide receiver with the Philadelphia Eagles. Is that correct?
Pittsburgh Steelers.
I don't know why I said Eagles.
Oh, that's all right.
Same state, different city. I think, yeah. So have him in the building. He's also one of the coaches, one of the teams in the league. There we go. My guy, King Jacob in the building. There we go. So, you know what I mean? So I got these two great men on here today. What's going on, brother? How you doing? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, Jacob? I don't think you can hear me. Okay. But I got these two great guys on here, and I'm gonna let them kind of explain what the program is about and the progress they're having. They're also going to be doing a podcast here on the network called JUCO Live, because they're creating their own documentary that's going to go with the podcast at some and then the process of doing all of that right now as we speak. So I'm gonna let them take the floor and go from there as far as what the program and what they're doing is all about.
Hey, thank you, Icon, man. I appreciate it. I'm glad to be here, and thank you for all the support that you're giving us, man. I really appreciate it. A little bit about what we got going on, man. We literally have started what we call privatized JUCO athletics. We have pretty much taken it to a new level where we bring student athletes in. And the thing about it is there's a lot of different reasons why a student athlete would actually come to us. And, one of the biggest things that I always wanted to do was to try to break the stigma of just saying, oh, JUCO is for bad kids or JUCO is for kids with bad grades. That's not true at all. Okay. Mm-hmm. There's many different reasons. I mean, we have kids that maybe feel like they haven't quite fully developed yet and just want to do a year of JUCO to get that development, to get those fundamentals that they may be lacking or whatever, and to build that self-confidence so they can move on to the next level. It's not always about the grades, because I've seen that this year alone. Jah is a recruiting machine. So he's bringing in kids with 3.2s, 3.3s. It ain't about the grades, folks. You know what I'm saying? It's really just about who they feel that's going to develop them, to be honest with you. I had a kid today that we were talking to, and he was saying, man, I just really want to make sure that whoever I decide to go with, they push me. He wanted somebody to literally push him because he gonna slack off if he don't have the right mentors in his life. And yes, I did say mentors because we're more than just coaches.
Mm-hmm.
You
Mm-hmm.
know, we actually mentor these boys to ensure a good GPA, to ensure that we have a high graduation rate, and make sure these kids are moving on. Now, we're gonna be honest. There's gonna be a lot of kids that don't move on to the next level because straight up they just might not have the D1 talent, you know. But with our school, which is Northwest University, if they stay with us 2 years and get their associate's degree, and they don't get picked up anywhere, they could actually stay with us 2 more years and get their bachelor's degree. Everything is 100% online, and the campus of Northwest University is actually out west, Kirkland, Washington. So we're more like a satellite location or affiliate location for our partners, Northwest University. The kids go 100% online, and we hold study hall to ensure that they do their work, do what they're supposed to do. And to be honest with you, man, that's pretty much it in a nutshell on how it actually works. We have community partners that help us with everything. So we have the home field, which is Monroe High School out of North Carolina. We have the gym, which is Carolina Fitness Center. We have the practice field that the city of Monroe has graciously said, hey, have at it, you good. We have the place to do X's and O sessions, study hall, coaches meetings at First Baptist Church of Monroe. They gave me a key and the alarm code and said, hey, we love what you're doing.
Okay.
So that's how it all works.
Okay.
I'm going to turn it over to Jai.
Hey, thanks, fellas, for having us on. And like on you said, all praise goes to God with this because I've been looking for something to give back to the community. I'm not from this area, but no matter where I go, I'm always wanting to give back. So this is something that Coach Kincaid and I we connected, and we had the same vision. And the vision is helping these young men with their futures and just giving them that opportunity that so many may not get. And like he had stated, I don't want to bring in 100, 110 student athletes. They're never going to get a look. I want to bring in a minimum amount where we have one or two teams, just backups where they're able to get that film, that playing time, be able to enjoy, still playing football, but earn that associates and possibly going on, like Coach said, to that next level. Now, if they don't, yes, they can stay with us, still play, still earn that bachelor's degree. But it's more than that. It's about the mentorship. We have a young man who's from Lincoln University out of Pennsylvania, and he's our success coach. And he works in the community, lives in the community, so he's going to be helping these student athletes get ready for life after college, life after football. So all the important things. We're going to be more than coaches. We're going to be mentors. We're going to be mentoring them. We're going to lead by example. So we're all godly men. We're all family men. We have children. We have wives. So we're gonna set them up for success because we see on TV every day, whether if it's an athlete or someone that's famous, male, they're doing something that they shouldn't be doing, to a female. We're gonna set the standard where they're treating their girlfriends or future wives the right way, so they can be great husbands, great fathers, and setting the examples. And some of these young men are already fathers, coming into into the college level. So I want to be there for them so they can show their, sons or daughters, what it's going to take, for them to, to get there, and they can set that example. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about it. And this is just the beginning. I see great things happening, with our program, with the league in general, and just, with our, just the future of this program. It's going to be good.
Okay. Jacob, you can hear us now?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So go ahead. Since I know you're very familiar with the program, and for our audience, Jacob is actually a recruiter for the program, so he's very in tune and connected to the program in a major way. So I'm gonna let Jacob just talk about whatever he's gonna talk about and kind of give us an idea of what he's seen and experienced so far with the program.
Well, just in a nutshell, I'm pleased that God presented me with the opportunity through a disciple like Coach Kincaid, and and the first thing we talked about, man, it had to do with life living and us seeing our young boys on television, getting apprehended by the police, getting shot by the police, and seeing mothers crying and fathers losing their their mental capacity and emotionally damaged because their their son or daughters are no longer here. So this is more than football. It's I call it sports ministry, and so through the athletic realm, we minister to these kids and getting them prepared. We we teach them value, we teach them ethic, we teach them you know characteristics. We also teach them how to be productive citizens of society. And so, with that being said, with me, I had no idea I was going to be a recruiter. I just wanted to connect with Coach Kincaid because I seen the value in the program. Once my cousin Michael Glover told me about the program, my cousin out of Charlotte, and he told me the remarkable things that he was doing, and how he was giving people from different communities, across the South Carolina, North Carolina area, to really be a part of something that's going to be so spectacular. So, with that being said, he offered me to be a recruiter. I stepped in, so I just learned so much about the program. I learned that you have to be used as a vessel to really reach these kids because a lot of these kids come from broken homes, and a lot of these kids don't understand what a man of God looks like. And so, with that being said, man, I'm just thrilled to be a part of the program. I hope to be putting a lot of
Okay, we lost him. Okay.
see soon.
There you go.
Also going to be working on the Delaware area. So I'm just happy to be a part.
Okay. Well, question I have is for everybody is so as far as the parents that y'all have dealt with, whether the single moms, dads, whatever, grandmothers, how have they been receptive towards the program so far?
Well, to be honest with you, I think they've been very receptive. And I'm going to be honest with you, it's probably about 95% single moms.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very few families that I have talked to have the complete full package home.
Mm-hmm.
I deal with a lot of moms not wanting to let go.
Mm-hmm.
They talk about their baby and this is my only baby or this is one of my babies. And after we get finished talking with them and reassuring them, and I hope nobody take this as a sexist remark, but after I let them know that they have to have a man in their life and teach them how to be a man, I make the statement to them, and most of them accept it. I've had somebody tell me that I was wrong, but I don't feel like a woman can teach a man how to be a man.
Mm-hmm. You're right.
So I said, let me have them for a little while. The little term that we have them, we're gonna teach them a few things. We're gonna show them what it means to be a man, what some of the decisions that you're making, you might need to reevaluate because that's not becoming of a man. You know, different things like that. Just like Jacob said, we do have right now we have a program in North Carolina and South Carolina. We have the PD Predators, which is in Florence, South Carolina, and we have the Union County Vipers, which is in Monroe, North Carolina. Now, I'm also building a basketball team that's in the Greenville, South Carolina area. They're called the Palmetto State Bulldogs. Hopefully, we'll have that football team up and running in 24. I have the Florida State Coastal Cobras, which is down in the Florida area. We're building, so we're kind of building teams in different areas. We're trying to make sure we have enough teams where we can fill that gap or bridge that gap within these areas so the kids wouldn't have to travel so far to become a part of the program. If I can figure out how to get a program in most local areas in the surrounding area of the state, that's what we're trying to do. So that's pretty much it on that point.
So as far as what's your goal to kind of like how many teams to have at some point? So what's your goal when it comes to that?
I'm trying to put at least 6 to 8 teams in each conference.
Okay.
I have the MASC, which is the Mid-Atlantic Southern Conference. I have the COMA, which is the Conference of the Mid-Atlantic. And I also have a conference that we'll be building going up north. So we'll go up that northern corridor all the way up to Maine if we can.
Oh, okay. Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
So when it comes to earlier, you talked about the kids. You talked about the kind of kids that people think just because they're in a JUCO program that they got bad grades or this going on and maybe be like bad people. So in your estimation, from both of you and Jah, Coach Jah, the type of kids that y'all have been recruiting, what have you can you kind of tap into the type of kids that you have been seeing? Like they have behavioral problems, or they kids that just want a second chance? What have you really seen from the dynamic from the type of kids that you are getting?
All of the above.
Yeah, right.
All of the above.
I can take this, Coach, but I would say the ones that I'm recruiting right now, the majority of them are seniors in high school, and they've gotten looks. And as you know, with the transfer portal, it's crazy. So we were explaining on the call today to a couple of recruits. Yes, some coaches have talked to you, but they're looking at someone who's coming from, another school that's getting good, that playing time, that's ready to transfer, instead of them investing that time into someone who's be red shirted and then maybe a backup. Those things, they're looking at someone who can come in and play right now. So seniors are getting left behind, but also because of COVID hit, and then that 5th year, so that put a damper on for a few years with the recruiting process, with student athletes coming in, because they had that, those seniors had that extra year, so that hurt with the recruiting coming out also. So you asked about the behavior. Whenever we're talking to these young men on the call or their parents, they are respectful. They've been kind, polite, asking great questions. I'm able to see their academics. Like Coach said, there are student athletes with, we went from 2 9s to 3 5s, and even higher. They just still want to play football, but they're getting overlooked because also financially, some of these schools don't have the money to give out like they used to. So they can only give out a few $1,000s to these student athletes. Yet FAFSA only covers so much, and now they have to come out of pocket. And then you leave there after 4 or 5 years at a 4-year program, you're owing $50,000+ in loans. And you can come to us, and someone that's local in the Charlotte surrounding area, they can still live at home. they're not paying for housing. They're not obviously meals. They can still possibly have a job because the schooling is online. We're going to be practicing in the evenings, so that's not going to affect them if they need to get a job. So all these things we're setting them up to be successful, so they don't flunk out of school. So they have money in their pocket. So they're working now, and like we have our success coach. Hopefully he'll be able to set them up with some type of internship, or with a major that they're going to do to get someone out in the in the Charlotte area, give them a chance. So
Okay.
so those are things that we are working on and things that are happening.
Okay, Jacob, you got more questions? You got any questions?
Yeah. So I stick my head in a lot of different places, man, and a lot of different people know me. Um, you know, a lot of from baseball coaches to basketball coaches, to football coaches, to soccer coaches, to golf coaches, to just anybody that's in sports. Um, they may not be into football or basketball, but they got partners that do. And so what's been happening with the transfer portal, NIL, a lot of these schools that's Division 2 or Division 3 or NIA or even JUCO, they have opportunity now to get these kids that's 4-star athletes in high school, because these kids are getting overlooked because you got people transferring from Kentucky and transferring from Arkansas and transferring from Clemson, transferring from USC Trojan, they transferring from Florida State, and so they're getting looked at first. And so I told a young man today out of Aiken, South Carolina, and he was upset by kind of not getting looked at and whatnot. And I told him, I said, what you gotta realize is you gotta pay attention, just read up on the NIL and see what's going on. I say, but I have a few things going on, but I would definitely plug you in with the right people. And and he was like, so why don't we know about JUCO or about Division 2 or Division 3? I was like, well, I can tell you this, man. I said, y'all have the chance that I didn't have when I was your age. I said, y'all actually have scouts that come to y'all games. I was like, man, we had to film on VCR tapes and try to send them in, man, and just hoping somebody in the community know somebody that was maybe went off to play college ball or something, and he could tell a coach about you, or maybe somebody that worked with somebody, a brother, and this brother coach at this place. I was like, y'all have the best opportunity. Now, y'all have something that's called social media. It just don't get no better than that, man. Y'all have social media. Y'all have Max Prep. Y'all can build a YouTube page. Y'all can be a Twitter content. Y'all can be a Snapchat content. Y'all can be a TikTok content. I was like, y'all have numerous things that y'all can be a content on to get you noticed. You know what I mean? And I said, and a lot of times, you as the athlete have to apply the pressure. Your mother can't do it for you. A potential coach can't do it for you, but you guys have to apply the pressure. And like I told him, I said, what you need to really understand that if you don't understand nothing else from me, I'm gonna tell you one thing: a thinking man always win. So if you put the intellectual with the athletics and you research and you understand how to, like, cause I know young men that's in the 10th grade now, they have been building their platform since they was in the 7th grade. So you can look at some of their YouTubes from the time they was in the 7th grade all the way up to their 10th grade year, and they're going into their junior year. And so that's enough. By the time they're seniors, they'll have enough content to actually have a whole TV series. You know what I mean? So it's like the athlete have to work hard too. It just can't be all on the coaches, can't be all on the parents, because this is your opportunity. This is your career. And so, I tell people, man, a closed mouth don't get fed and slow feet don't eat. Holler if you hear me.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
So basically, so also I was going to ask too, when it comes to the mental health side of all of this, Have y'all dealt with that side of the athlete yet? Because we know we see it with, we've seen it with Ben Simmons. We've seen it with a couple other athletes, as far as even I think it was a girl in golf that had to take some time away, and a girl from tennis, a couple people from tennis, and we've seen it with athletes that's dealing with the mental side, the mental health of it all. As far as, I guess, if they feel like they can fail it, see, and not live up to expectations, that they go through certain mental stuff. So have y'all dealt with that as being coaches and mentors up to this point?
I've seen certain situations, nothing too major, nothing too extreme, but it got me to thinking over the last few years. And this year I have made it mandatory that all my student athletes and my coaches take an anger management course. Number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, to have a counselor on standby, because, like we said, we do have some kids that come from not so desirable lifestyle, and they're sitting here, coming to play football, but they're sitting back wondering if mom's boyfriend coming back over to put his hands on them. Or, man, do I really need to be home so I can help my mom handle that? And I'm here. Mm-hmm. So it started, these kids got some real grown man stuff going on.
Mm-hmm.
And they come and look to us for guidance.
Mm-hmm.
With me being an ex-cop, I've seen it all.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I can also offer them a lot of good advice. I'm trying to keep my boys alive.
Mm-hmm.
So I teach them what they're supposed to do on a traffic stop.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Something just as simple as, the old school CD holder that you put up over the sun visor.
Mm-hmm.
Remember that CD holder we used to? Yeah. I tell them, look, go find that, or if you have to order it, or go on Amazon or something and put it up there over your visor. Put your proof of insurance, your driver's license, and your registration all up there.
Mm.
When a police officer stops you, and he walks up to you, have your hands at 9 and 3.
Mm. Mm.
And then when he asks for, proof of registration, license, and insurance and everything, you let him know, officer is right there.
Mm.
Going up, can I reach for it? Then he said, go ahead, and you get him, boom. That you ain't got to dig in pockets. You ain't got to go dig over in your glove compartment. Because I'm going to be honest with you. Now, let me give you from the cop standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
I see them reaching.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they nervous. A lot of them are not reaching for a weapon, but you just never know. You're going to stand there and find out. So I'm going to put my hand on my gun and be like, whoa, slow down, bro. Slow your roll.
Mm-hmm. Now, let me ask you a question. I'm glad you brought that up, because I didn't know that about you, that you've been an ex-cop. We definitely maybe have to have a podcast episode just to talk about the law, because I went to school for criminal justice.
Okay.
I have always speak on, especially with us, and people were like, oh, you trying to be a cop? And I'm like, there's more than one job in criminal justice, for one.
Right.
But for two, I think every black person in America should have to take a course in criminal justice, because the one thing about black people, we don't understand the law. And that's how we get ourselves in trouble. But the one thing, I don't want to get too deep into it, because I want to stay on what we got going on. But I did want to touch on this, is that I tell my kids this, and I'm telling people this all the time. I said, when the cop walk up to your car, the first thing when the cop says, insurance and registration, don't say, well, what you pull me over for? Give them time, because that automatically gives them gets them nervous, and then they start wondering, okay, what are you trying to hide? So first, just let them kind of tell you what's going on before you jump the gun and start going to it back and forth. Because I don't care how back and forth you get. I don't care if you the biggest argument and you the biggest debater on the planet. The police officer always has the power at the end of the day. If you feel like they're getting too out of hand, you get their badge number and you call it in and you figure out later on. But the whole object is to go home. It's not to go home in the body bag because you want to argue with the cop.
Right.
But yeah, I just wanted to put that out there or whatever, because because do you agree with me?
No, I agree. And
Definitely.
with what you just said, see, we as cops have that motto too.
Mm-hmm.
That the motto of I'm going home at the end of the night by any means necessary.
Mm-hmm.
If that means blowing your ass away, that means that blowing your ass away. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I'm going home.
Yeah.
So you want to sit there and act stupid if you want to and go to reaching all fast and everything. I don't know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's why I tell my young men, have everything in hand's reach. So it don't look like you reaching over for anything.
Mm-hmm.
And ask permission. No, yeah, we grown men, of course. But you got to understand, you have an officer of the law right here. And a lot of situations turn bad.
Mm-hmm.
We don't know when those situations are going to turn bad. So we treat every situation as if it's going to turn bad.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like universal precaution. If somebody's bleeding, you're not going to pick and choose which person is bleeding to put gloves on. You're going to put gloves on every time because you don't know who got AIDS and who don't.
Mm-hmm.
So you treat everybody with a universal precaution and put your gloves on.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I treat everybody at a traffic stop as if you getting ready to shoot me
Until
I rule out that you're not.
Gotcha.
See, if everybody understood that and stop being buttholes out there on a traffic stop, a lot of times you might just walk away with a warning.
Yeah. Yep. Because I told people this, and we gonna get over to what y'all got going on this weekend. But I tell people that I said the crazy part about, for me, I can't speak for nobody else, but for me, I've had better situations with white cops than I had with black cops. As far as, because when they pull me over, okay, sir, yes, sir, get the information, and then once I tell them, if they say, well, you was doing this, oh, I'm sorry, I realize this, blah blah blah, and then, okay, you know what, I'm just gonna give you a warning, be careful, send me on my way. You know what I mean? And and like I tell people, I said, if you kind of hit them with the kindness or whatever, a lot of times, even if they might be, and I'm talking about, I've been pulled over in Louisiana, like it was some of the most racist states in America, and they would I tell them, oh, I was driving through I didn't understand, I didn't see, I didn't know all the laws, blah blah blah, and then they'll let me go. You know what I mean, or whatever, just because I was cordial. They was cordial with me, I was cordial with them. They say, okay, he a good guy. They wouldn't even run they made me cut the time. They might have ran my stuff. Most time they would just look at my license and let me go. Okay, I see he I could tell he not trying to BS me, and they let me go. You know what I mean? And that's why I tell people, like, don't just jump the gun just because you think you got pulled over. They're not always pulling you over because you black. Yes, sometimes it is because you black. Yes, but even in those situations, you definitely want to be nice. You know what I'm saying?
We definitely need to do another episode. I'll talk to you about how racial profiling really works.
Yeah, we'll talk about another one. So anyway, fellas, this weekend was Monroe, North Carolina, which is right outside of Charlotte. I've been there plenty of times. I got family members and friends, a lot of people that stay in the Charlotte area and grew up in that area, so I know the area very well. You have your camp that you're doing.
Well, actually, this weekend we have the community meet and greet.
Okay, meet and greet. Okay.
Yeah. So that's this Saturday, May 6th. Okay. May 13th, which is next Saturday, we have what we call our Beast Mode Combine Showcase.
Okay.
Registration starts at 10 o'clock. And it's going to be at Monroe High School in Monroe, North Carolina.
Okay.
Registration is $20,
which is not bad at all.
And the thing about it is, if everybody pre-registers like they're supposed to, so I like to give my email out if you don't mind.
Go ahead.
It's my first and last name, Donald, DONALD Kincaid, KINGCADE at northwestu.edu.
Okay.
Give it to you one more time. DONALD dot KINGCADE at northwestu.edu. And if you, all you got to do is email me and say, Coach, I'm interested in coming. That's it. I'll send you the information and everything. And if you register with me before you come to the gate, that's $20.
All right.
Come
And don't
to the
listen,
gate.
and I don't listen to Steve down there. Steve, that's my
Okay.
co-host. Now those boys, he tripping. Don't listen to him.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, Steve gonna pay for the first 25.
So if you come to the gate, it's gonna be $35.
Okay, all right.
So register.
And we're doing 2023s to 2025.
What you mean, high school class?
Correct. Seniors down to the class of 2025.
And we'll go as low as 2020, but we're expecting a lot of 2023s.
Okay.
24s and 25s are welcome. I think it's going to be great. They'll have an opportunity to interact with an NFL player that's been there, that then went through the ranks, understands what it is to be where they are, and so Jah is going to be there, guys. So any of you out there that's listening right now or looking, or the ones that are probably watch this later, just spread the word. Next Saturday, May 13th, Beast Mode Combine, Monroe High School in Monroe, North Carolina, 10 o'clock registration.
Okay. So next we have the documentary and we have the podcast. So basically you start next week with next Thursday, Friday. I don't know if y'all chose a time and everything to do. Start y'all podcast, the JUCO Live podcast.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody, y'all can tune in for that. We'll definitely get a flyer out and the information out over the next several days, so everybody can check them out and really so they can dig deep into the program and what they're talking about. And they're gonna have special guests on it. You just never know who they might have on, ex-NFL players, current NFL players. Jah Hill, he a big deal.
Oh, we're gonna have a few people on there.
Yeah, Jah Hill, he a big deal. The name itself sounds like royalty, Jah Hill. You know what I mean? But him and Coach K, you just never know what they're gonna pull out the house. Pull out the hat. But yeah. So basically, y'all kind of first tell them about the whole idea of the documentary, then go into a little bit about the podcast.
Well, let me start out by saying this: we're not just football. We have basketball too.
Okay.
So JUCO Live is going to be covering a little bit of both. Okay. The documentary itself, I'm gonna be honest with you, man. I really wanted to help my boys gain more exposure. And big fan of Last Chance U on Netflix. You know what I'm saying? So I said, you know what? I can do that, but I can come up with my own rendition. So I got my own version, and that's called JUCO Live, the JUCO Live documentary. And we're going to shoot episodes and seasons and all of that good stuff. And
now, before you go on, when it comes to JUCO and what the Last Chance U is it basically almost the same thing, or what's kind of the difference between what y'all do and what?
Well, that's a good question. The difference between our privatized league versus the Mississippi's and all they're established colleges and everything. We had to grind and get this out the mud. We started back in 2019, and here we are 4 years later, and we're finally starting to get some recognition at what we do and who we are and what we're trying to do. And I really need to say this. I actually got to arguing online with a D1 coach, and he came on and he told me that you're giving these kids false hopes and dreams. And I said, bro, you're gonna have to elaborate on that. I started getting upset now, So you telling me the kids that don't have the D1 talent, that are not qualifiers coming directly out of high school, the non-qualifiers, you telling me they don't deserve to go to school?
Mm.
They don't deserve an opportunity to play ball on a collegiate level. Where are they supposed to go then? Since you're not giving them any opportunities because you're getting the 4 and 5 star kids.
Mm-hmm.
So where are those kids supposed to go? The kids with no stars.
Mm-hmm.
And I told them, I said, just because they didn't have no stars doesn't mean that they wasn't a star rated kid. It's just because society didn't deem necessary to label them with some stars.
Exactly.
I see a lot of kids out there that's just extremely talented.
And it's funny you said that, Coach, because our 910 sports show that we started, that was my whole premise, was to, and I talk about this all the time, is that I started that because we interview a lot of high school and college kids. But it all really came from, it was funny because my first week I was about to go, and when I first came up with the idea to do the show, I was thinking, okay, what's going to really be how I really want to do this. And I remember one of my high school classmates, his son played high school ball at Pinecrest, and I'm gonna get you linked up with one of the coaches out there. He has like a community. He has like a JUCO type, I think that league or whatever. They won like 7, 8 like national championships, something ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? His name is Jason Jones. He done won like so many national championships. Like, you know what I mean? He's like the what's his name? Connecticut coach. He like that coach. I can't think of his name right now. He's like that level. He's like Bill Belichick or whatever.
Okay.
He's on that level with it, whatever program he got. But he'd be somebody linked with the poly. You know, you never know. You probably can be able to expand out there and put something together out there. And this is in the North Carolina area. This is in Southern Pines, Moore County area. I don't know if you ever heard of that area. But definitely get you linked up with him because he got something really special going on. His problem is trying to find sponsors and people to get behind him financially. You know what I'm saying? So that's one of his biggest problems or whatever, is he always has to come out of pocket for everything. But anyway, so when I seen my classmate's son play, because I heard about him, I was like, he can't be as good as Don. You know how people, especially with us, he hyping him up, he ain't that good. So I went to go see him play, and I was like, well, dang. You know what I'm saying? And I remember watching him one game, and everybody on the court was like 6'5", 6'6". He's probably no more than 6'1", and he was killing them. I'm talking about killing them. I was like, woo! I said, yeah, this boy nice. You know what I'm saying? So he ended up going to, I think, Campbell. Was it Campbell? Okay. He went to a smaller school, but what made me say that is because I asked his dad, I said, well, he ain't get recruited by I said, where he want to go? He said, well, he talking about wanting to go to Carolina, but he might end up going to state, but he wasn't getting recruited by them schools. So right. I'm like, he's too good. I don't care who, because he was winning all the player of the years and conference of the year player and state player. He was winning all the awards. So, but I think just because he come from a small area and the competition they probably playing on a regular basis wasn't up there, he wasn't getting recruited. And I don't know what his grades was looking like, but I'm just going by what I'm seeing on the basketball court or whatever.
Biometrics.
Yeah,
has a lot to do with it as well.
Well, if he got into Campbell, Campbell's not a shabby school. So if he got in there, his grades had to have been pretty good.
Yeah. So because I'm from, my wife, she's from Lillington, which is right there. Which is the city it's in. That's where she's from. But yeah, so I was just like, so that's what prompt me to ask these type of questions or whatever, and I definitely like what y'all doing as a program and as a whole, because I know it taps into some of these kids, and like you said, with the coach believing that these kids will never accomplish their dreams. just because of what his ideology is and what his thinking is, and you had to check him on that. You know what I mean? So
Absolutely.
I do feel like y'all podcast, I feel like y'all program or put light on stuff. It allow these kids and their parents to come on here and see, okay, these guys, they got something. We need to maybe, steer our child that way or whatever. Or this is an opportunity for you. If they don't want to give you one, we have one over here for you. You know what I mean? Or whatever. So y'all made a way out of no way. And y'all the type of people I like dealing with because that's always been my thinking. That's Jacob's thinking. We try to make a way out of no way. You know what I mean? And create opportunity. If they always say if it's nothing there, create it. If there's no opportunity there for somebody, create it. Why you wait for somebody else to do it, or you gotta wait for somebody to give you permission to do something. Just do it yourself. You know what I mean? Or whatever. And you have a ex-athlete that's played on the highest level. So he's seen it all. So he can definitely help navigate what you don't know and what you I'm pretty sure stuff that he don't know.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? And y'all feed off of each other.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So but yeah, I definitely thank y'all for coming on tonight and giving us the time. And actually, like I said, giving us the opportunity as far as y'all coming on this network, because we always need people like y'all coming on and being able to bring something different that's going to help the community, because that's really what this network is mainly about, is trying to help the community and give people in the community opportunities that normally don't get opportunities. And I know with y'all be tapping into the community, bringing on people on higher levels that's done it at the highest level, and that way to give it show the little kid, oh, okay, these guys are serious about what they're doing and they care about us and what they're doing, especially when they see y'all out in the community doing certain things, you know what I mean, or whatever. So basically, with the documentary, how long do you feel like, is that a process gonna take a while, or you feel like what's your kind of timeline on kind of getting that out there?
I think my timeline should start this fall.
Okay.
Start
filming this fall.
Right.
Okay.
And one thing also I wanted to leave you guys with, and then I see if Jah want to say some parting words, but we also have something called Alpha Omega, which is a sports fraternity. It's a social frat basically, and we came up with the idea of designing that to give these boys an opportunity to see what a real positive group looks like. They have been exposed to too many negative groups out there. I'm not going to call no names, but the Alpha Omega, to give them an opportunity to pledge and to understand what fraternal life looks like. So when they do actually go on campus, D1, D2, D3, and they'll have an opportunity to actually pledge a regular Greek, and then they'll have the understanding and know what is going to be expected of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. So, Jah, you got anything that you want to leave us with?
Definitely do. First of all, I appreciate this opportunity, and we're just looking forward to just what lies ahead. I see, like I said before, I see great things, and Coach, with his professional background in police work, father, husband, godly man. He has so much to offer, to these young men and the families. And myself being, an ex-professional athlete, college athlete, which I didn't mention, the other thing is I was active duty in the Army, and also, like I said, father, husband. We have a lot to offer these young men and the families, and just them to get that opportunity to come in and play right away instead of sitting and not being happy. So many student athletes go away and they don't want to, and they're used to being the man, on that team, whether if it's football or basketball, and they're constantly playing, and now they get there, they're red shirted, they're not playing, they're not happy, they get depressed, things don't go the way, their grades go downhill, then maybe they've, failed out of school and now they can't transfer somewhere because they might owe money for that school. So we can give them that opportunity to start fresh, but also show them what it's going to take to get to that next level. And those are things that I'm able to offer them. And, plus all of our coaches. Like I said, we are going to set the example. We're going to lead by example, and just big things to come in the future.
Okay, cool. And I want to say this before we got out of here. Next month, I'm going to do a special episode, and it's going to be with basically with men like ourselves who are all parents, husbands, whatever, and just to kind of show more from the fatherhood. It's going to be probably the week of Father's Day, and to get like positive men on here, because the thing about it is I think a lot of times we don't get our flowers as fathers, especially the good ones. Everybody especially the black dad, the black father. They always want to focus on the negative dads and the ones that don't take care of their kids, that don't pay child support. But the ones like ourselves that's in the home, that's raised our kids, we get the bad slack, the bad rap. It's like Coach Kincaid can attest to this. It's like being a cop and you get wrapped in with all the other bad cops, whatever, just because that blue that you got on. So just because we're in this black skin and we a black man, sometimes we get a bad connotation of who we are and what we about. And I think we need to have a round table of positive black men to talk about some of the things we go through and the fight that we have to try to raise, especially black men, other black boys to be men, and the harsh reality of trying to how hard it's gotten over time because of social media and the influence in the world today of trying to raise a black boy to be a black man. And you know what I mean? And the part we have to play together, not just as our individual kids, but to have to be a beacon of light and hope and mentoring kids in the neighborhood and the community and people, young guys we see on the streets. And so I think that's definitely something that needs to be taught. But anyway, good fellas, I definitely want to thank y'all for coming on. I'm very, very looking forward to next week's first episode or whatever. And I know Jacob's gonna be out there with y'all next weekend. Me as Mother's Day weekend, so I know and why y'all just looking at me like, yeah, I wish you would. But I definitely be a bad support for y'all next weekend out there in Monroe. And I'm going to be pushing it all week for people to hopefully give y'all a holler to sign up and come out there and be part of what y'all got going on.
Appreciate
that, man.
All right. So y'all have a blessed night, and I'll talk to y'all soon.
All right, man. Y'all take it easy.
All right. Be safe.
We got the good vibe, got the 1942 pouring in my cup.